another video about what I've learned through navigating the workplace. And as I said, workplace can be applied in several different contexts. So what I will say is this, and this is in no way to dissuade anybody from taking the step into entrepreneurship or taking that step into making their side hustle their full-time hustle. It's just to say that being aware of the challenges you faced within the workplace are still similar to the challenges that you may face as a service provider, or kind of needing to get funding, or being in, getting access to decision makers. And being your boss isn't always the right solution. And I know that there's a trend that I saw that a lot of people who, a lot of women who started businesses during the pandemic decided to go back to their 9-to-5. And to be perfectly honest, there's no shame in that. I don't think there should be a hierarchy of what is better, or because there is no real full independence. And when I say there's no real full independence, what I mean by that is, even if you do work for yourself, you still have clients. You're still beholden to your clients. They still have their expectations. Yes, it's in a different construct to that of being an employee. However, the relationship, and you can make more decisions. However, the relationship is very much the same. And going back to the video that I made around social capital, it's just creating that awareness around the importance of social capital is just as relevant within the workplace as it is when you move into entrepreneurship. That if you're going to take that step into being your own boss, it's that part around recognizing that you might have to start to create, once again, value, not transactions, but start to think about strategically, where am I moving to? And is this going to provide me with all the freedom that I would like? Because freedom looks different to everybody. But if it's the kind of the overwhelming freedom of not being seen or not getting opportunities, it's not necessarily true that will happen automatically just because you become your own boss. And I think sometimes we don't necessarily discuss that. As I said, this isn't about it being a deterrent, but it's just to entrepreneurship. I think that if you're passionate, you've got your idea, there's a need, all this kind of stuff, like that notwithstanding, it's just to caveat it and say that the challenges that you face within the workplace will not be lessened just because you are independent. But at the same time, what I will say as an absolute total pro to entrepreneurship is the upside is boundless. You can achieve, you can move, you can create a path for yourself that wasn't there before. You can create a path that maybe no one else has trodden. You have the ability to then spread your wings, and there's more breadth to everything that you're doing. So obviously, clearly, having made the jump from corporate into being an entrepreneur, I completely understand, and I would recommend it. But I would also caveat it and say, not every day is an easy day, and sometimes the challenges, and I can give a very good example of that. But I've realized that my video has gone to being 4 minutes, but I'll still carry on anyway. I can give a very good example of that, and that was somebody reached out to me once and asked me to help them be an ambassador for their business. But in the course of the conversation, I realized that my credibility and credentials were being challenged in a similar way to, where you kind of ask yourself the question, this isn't an interview, you came to talk to me, not the other way around. So what is really happening here? And it made me stop and think. And it also made me reassess the kinds of interactions I wanted to be engaged in. But the reality is, you cannot and do not always get interactions on your own terms as you would like them. You will have the same frustrations or very similar frustrations, maybe less frequently, but you have the similar frustration sometimes that you have in the workplace. And it's just to say, you can't avoid that. We can't avoid that. So I'm all for entrepreneurship, but that kind of dose of reality that not every day is a good day, not every day is a sexy day, and the challenges still remain. But as I said, it's the upside of happiness, freedom, possibilities that will always keep me personally. And when I say opportunities, I mean to meet people, create impact, do something new, do something unexpected. All of that is an amazing part of being an entrepreneur.